Welcome back to the Suraj Podcast. In the previous episode, we talked about the preparations of Guru Hargobind, the state of mind that they're in. They're, ready at any point for the armies of Shah Jahan to attack them. So now we're going to shift the scene in chapter 43 and talk about how Lalabeg's army is now proceeding down, and they have crossed a river towards Gangar. At this point, it's in the winter, so it's extremely cold. They have traveled all day. In the previous episode, I had mentioned they had started off in the morning, and they had just continued to travel through the night. So they crossed this river at the coldest point of the day, in midnight, and their hands are getting affected. Their feet are becoming numb. They have not rested all day. At that point, after they cross the river, they rest for a couple of hours, but then they continue on again. Lalabeg, at this point, the commander, sends a messenger ahead of them. His name is Hasan Khan. He tells the messenger that what I want you to do is I want you to go to a nearby village, ditch your horse, change your appearance, take on whatever clothes that the people of that village look like they're wearing, and then try to find where the camp of the Guru is and Jodhara is, kind of walk in there, gain some intelligence, figure out how many soldiers they have, where they're positioned, their strong points, their weak points. Bring that information back to us. So Hasan Khan does that and sets off. Hasan Khan then walks into the camp of the Guru first. So at this point, it's just early morning. The sun is just rising. So the warriors are getting water from the pond, and they're bringing that into the camp. He sees this. He walks through this camp. He walks then into Jodharai's camp. Now Jodharai, as I mentioned before, he's from this area. So his soldiers immediately recognize that, hey, this guy over there, that guy is not part of this village. He's not part of this whole area. They can tell right away that this guy's an outsider. So they grab him. They knock his turban, his dastar off, and they tie his hands together with it behind his back. And then they just go to work on this guy. And they're beating him. And then at this point, Hasan Khan cries out to Guru Hargobind. He says that, please, Guru Hargobind, save me. So Jodharai's army is beating him up, and at this point they have to take mercy on him. They can't continue to beat him up while he's crying out for the Guru, so they bring him to Guru Hargobind. Guru Hargobind then gets Bidhi Chand to release the dastar of the turban out of his hands there to free him, and then asks him, okay, who are you, where are you from, what are you doing here? And Hasan Khan's very afraid at this point. He's afraid about getting killed. So he says, listen, you can kill me. You can let me go, but I will tell you whatever you want to know, and I'll tell you the truth. So my name is Hasan Khan. I was sent here by Lalabeg to gain intelligence on the army, and I was going to relay that information back. So then he tells Guru Hargobind that, Lalabeg is the commander. He is the main general from Kabul, Afghanistan. He has 25,000 troops. They're not very far. They can come basically at any point. They're very close. But then he says, listen, I've seen their army and I've seen your army. The state that our army is in is not good. They're cold, they're tired, they haven't eaten all day. They're not as pumped up for the battle as you guys are. Their spirit is broken. So I can say with faith to you, he says to Guru Hargobind, that 100 of your soldiers will easily take 1,000 of ours at this point. Your warriors are in amazing spirits. You have good defensive positioning. You have ammunition all prepped. And hearing this, Guru Hargobind is extremely happy. He says, all right, your task now is to go back and tell your leaders, tell Lalabeg this, exactly as you told me. So he goes back, and Lalabeg then asks him, okay, what's the state that Guru Hargobind's forces are in? And he tells him everything, the positioning they are at, the fact that they're surrounding this pond so they have access to water, the morale of the troops of Guru Hargobind. And he says to them, I'll be honest with you, Lalabeg, 100 of their troops would take 1,000 of ours, just given the state that our troops are in. This is his job as well to assess this, so he's telling the truth here. Lalabeg is pissed, and at this point it mentions that Lalabeg is pretty drunk when he's hearing this. And because he's drunk, he overreacts and he tells his soldiers, this guy is probably just telling us this to scare us off, to have us retreat. But you know what? Forget this guy. And he gets his ministers to just beat the hell out of this guy, Hasan Khan. Hasan Khan had told them, he had praised the Guru while he was telling them this as well. So he said things like, the Guru is like a tiger in the woods, and we are in an area that we don't know. We're basically like deer, that he could come down and attack us. We wouldn't know where the attack would come from. The Guru's like a hawk. He could just swoop down at us, at our army. And there's 4,000 of them, but really you should think of them as 4 big tigers that could come attack us at any point. So Hasan Khan, because he said this, the warriors really go to work on him and they beat the hell out of him. He doesn't know what to do now. He says, all right, if I stay here, these guys are going to kill me. If I go to Guru Hargobind's camp, maybe Jodharai's people will kill me. I don't know what to do. So then he thinks, eventually he says, you know what, if anybody's going to protect me, it's going to be Guru Hargobind. So he goes back and he meets with Guru Hargobind and says, listen, this is what happened. I went there, I told them, they beat me up, you guys beat me up, I don't know where to go. So Guru Hargobind says, he kind of laughs at this and says, all right, don't worry, we'll protect you. You stay here. You watch this massive battle that we're about to wage here. And Jodharai is not happy about this at all. Jodharai is a seasoned warrior. He understands the problem that this could result in. He says, this guy's going to stay here. This guy's going to give live updates, basically. Our positioning, our tactics, the amount of troops that we have, casualties, all this. He's going to relay that information back to Lalabeg. We should not do this. This is a very bad move. It's very not smart. So Guru Hargobind says that, listen, whoever comes to this house of Guru Nanak, we're going to protect them. What faith will people have in us if we can't protect people in this life? Are they going to have faith that we're going to protect them in the next life? This is what we do. We save people here. We're going to protect people. If they come under our protection into our sanctuary, we will do whatever we can to protect them. And not only that, Jodharai, listen, I'm going to destroy the entire army there and Lalabeg, who commands Kabul, and I'm going to put Hasan Khan, this guy, in charge of Kabul. Everybody there is shocked and they're like, what? They think, they actually kind of relay this information back, and to them they appreciate it, like in the Ramayana, and this is at the end of the chapter, and mentions that the Sikhs of the Guru say, oh, you know what this is like? This is like Vibhishana. Vibhishana is Ravana's younger brother. In the story of Ramayana, Ravana goes to battle against Ram, and his younger brother, Ravana's younger brother, switches sides and goes to Ram. Ram then has mercy on him, and eventually when Ravana is defeated, Vibhishana is given control of Lanka. So the Sikhs of the Guru say, oh man, this is actually playing out in a very similar fashion about how Ravana's younger brother gains power after Ravana is defeated. So Hasan Khan then tells the Guru, all right, listen, the forces are very close to us here. You guys should basically prep for battle right away. They're not expecting me to go back, so they're probably sending their forces now. So the Guru hears this. Everybody's there is ready anyways. But at that point, the Guru sends 100 soldiers on horseback forward, and he tells them, all right, if the army comes to attack us, you relay that information back to us so we can prep our positions. And at that point, everybody's sitting there. It mentions that how the warriors are all spread out, sitting by fires, keeping warm, and at that point just remembering and meditating upon the Guru and prepping, kind of the calm before the storm it's describing. As the next chapter that we're going to jump into is the first chapter where the battle actually commences, and that's where we're going to pick up next time.
ਆਊਗਾ ਚੜ ਕੇ, ਜਾਊਗਾ ਝੜ ਕੇ, ਖਾਲਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੜੇਗਾ, ਤਰਲੇ ਲਾਲਾ ਮਾਰੇਗਾ, ਸ਼ਰਨ ਪਰੇਗਾ ਤੇ ਤਰੇਗਾ, ਗੱਜ ਗੱਜ ਕਰਾ ਜਾਵੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਹਰਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਮਨ ਭਾਵੇ ਨਿਹਾਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ।